You're so involved with entrepreneurs. Where does your passion for entrepreneurship come from?
I think it really comes from being one myself for the past 17 years. I've learned a lot over that time. I've had successes and I've made mistakes along the way. And I've been through pretty much every stage of starting, growing, selling, and buying a business. And I think sharing those ups and downs, the wins and losses, and the advice that I've learned from others along the way is important. Being an entrepreneur can be pretty isolating and a lonely experience, but it doesn't have to be. Just having one other person to talk things through with can make the journey so much more enjoyable. So whether it's a one-on-one meeting that I have with somebody, facilitating events, or connecting them with people and resources that can help their business, I get a feeling of fulfillment from doing it and consider it my purpose.
What is the best advice that you could share with an aspiring entrepreneur?
So this is a two-parter. Being an entrepreneur is a long and tough journey. So make sure whatever business you're building, it comes from a passion that you have. That passion will help define your why and ultimately your purpose. And nothing's more important to the success of a business than that. Passion and purpose is what we get through the challenging days ahead and make it all worth it. It's also the elements that differentiate those businesses that will fail from those that will stand the test of time. And secondly, we're each on our own journey, and it's important not to judge our success by what we see as success online. Social media has a way of glorifying the entrepreneurial path without really shining a light on the really hard parts. And I think that's led to a lot of mental health challenges with entrepreneurs. I wish we saw more authenticity online about what it's really like to be an entrepreneur, but unfortunately we don't. So it's important to recognize that just because you may be struggling at a point on your path doesn't mean that you're failing. It's a journey that definitely doesn't follow a straight line, and you're bound to hit bumps along the way, but it's really worth it, which goes back to my point about purpose and passion. If you approach your entrepreneurial journey from that place, then success will find you and it will be worth it.
Craig, you're so involved with entrepreneurs. Where does your passion for entrepreneurship come from?
I think that what moves me is creativity. I like to create new, I like to create what didn't exist before, what could be, and particularly new entrepreneurs, but passionate entrepreneurs, there's so much energy to it, right? And an energy of creativity that, like, entrepreneurs take nothing and make something from it, right? And I just enjoy the energy and the process and just the what could be, channeling that kind of creative element. I don't know, it gets me passionate. I get worked up. I learn how to put my blinders on a little bit because I hear about cool projects or entrepreneurs that are excited and I just want to get right in there, and it's just the passion, the drive, the energy, and the creativity. That's what excites me.
What is the best piece of advice you could share with an aspiring entrepreneur?
Oh, financial controls. Absolutely. Financial controls. Like, I made a mistake. Way back, 2 years in, we basically tanked the company. I had a partner back then. We basically tanked the company, and with good support from suppliers and such, got through it. But I learned financial control. So by the time you get your financial statements, they're old news. Like, that was what was, right? I believe in total real-time reporting. I get my dashboard every morning. I've got weekly cash snapshots that we get that show all of our AR, AP, cash in the bank, inventory, all that sort of thing. And with that, financials are just plugged in numbers too. They make mistakes, right? And so if you've got 3 or 4 different ways of measuring, when something's gone off track because it's just not jiving with the other stuff. So financial controls, financial controls, financial controls, financial controls, and also hire really well. That's it. And hire for your weak spots. Don't hire somebody like you. The first hire should be somebody who brings strengths that you don't have. And that's kind of key to recognizing what your weaknesses are and accepting them and building into your organization those strengths from other people.
Hey, David, congratulations on being a finalist. I wondered if you could just tell us a little bit about MPC and what the future holds for you.
Well, it's been a wild time, to say the least, during COVID. So pre-COVID, we were precision plastic injection molder, primarily in the automotive and just starting out in the medical. But with COVID, we shifted into medical way quicker than we ever expected. We've developed a face shield product, sold 27 million face shields to the federal and provincial government for frontline workers. And now we're developing the first of its kind hand sanitizer system, which we can manufacture hand sanitizer from a pellet of plastic to a finished product on a skid. That's typically a global supply chain model that we're all doing within 15,000 square feet. And every 2.8 seconds, there'll be a bottle of sanitizer hitting a box, all in one facility, right from raw materials to finished goods. So we're launching that soon, and that all leads to our Medical Innovation Park, which is now called Medica. So in Oro-Medonte, we have an 83-acre property that's been recently rezoned through the provincial government for us to build out Canada's first medical advanced manufacturing innovation park. And the idea behind that is the same idea in our normal operations is a vertically integrated company where we have design in-house, we build our own tooling, we build and we do the manufacturing, is that we don't need a lot from the outside of our four walls in order to do what we need to do to deliver. So we're building out this park with the same concept. So imagine anything that's required for Canada's health security needs in any emergency, whether it be a pandemic or war or maybe a natural disaster, is that there's an ecosystem of companies that are all collaborating together to build out the Canada's capacity to build out any of the health security needs for Canada. So it's a major endeavor. It'll be 1 million square feet of companies collaborating together, building out ecosystems in order to be able to secure Canada's health security needs, not only for now, but for the future. So lot going on, and got a big hurdle to climb, but it's going to be exciting, and we're going to be able to solve this thing for once and for all.
That's amazing. It's going to really put Simcoe County on the map, and I promise you we're going to have some really talented Georgian grads to join you as part of your team.
Well, we have a lot of them already. We hired 115 students last summer. We've always hired Georgian students, and we have any one time there's 15 co-op students that are working with us. We also work with the college as well. I'm on the advisory committee for the engineering committee and the precision skills, helping develop the programs for those kids. And I'm really passionate about helping develop these kids, developing their skill sets to be resilient and building leadership skills and entrepreneurial skills as they grow. So Georgian and MPC have always been a really close collaboration there. We work on several projects with them as well.
We're so lucky to have you as a partner, and it's great that you brought that up. So you are so involved with students and graduates and entrepreneurs. So where does your passion for entrepreneurship come from?
Yeah, it's part of it's in the blood, right? My entire family are entrepreneurs. So I have one brother, 2 sisters, my father, we all own our own businesses. So part of it's in the blood. There's a passion for me. Living in this area, I had to drive to Toronto back and forth to find meaningful work as a mechanical engineer, right? So I wanted to create something that gave you the work, live, play type lifestyle, which is near impossible if you're commuting to Toronto every day. But I love the area. This place is the most beautiful place in the world as far as I'm concerned. You're an hour from Toronto, you're an hour from Algonquin. It gives me the lifestyle that I would always want. There's skiing, there's mountain biking, there's water. Like, where else would you want to be? I think it's the best place on earth. But what it was missing was high-paying technical jobs for people like myself. So starting a business for me and what drives me is being able to create jobs for people that'll help them go from just surviving to thriving. And a big part of that is taking people off the highway and bringing their work close to their home. And there's nothing better than seeing that person on their first day when they show up and I say, how was your drive today? And they're used to like an hour and a half or 2 hours battling to Toronto, and they go, it was 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And what they also get, right? They don't need before and after care for their children, right? Mm-hmm. They can be home for dinner. They're safer because they're not on the highway in the middle of the winter. So it's a complete transformation for their lives, right? And it's meaningful work, high-paying jobs that are here. And really, at the end of the day, that's what really drives me, being able to see and being able to do that and have that type of impact on so many people. It's not just them, it's their families, and then their families, right? It goes extended throughout the entire community and eventually throughout the world.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
Good, thanks.
You're so involved with entrepreneurs. Where does your passion for entrepreneurship come from?
So it actually started when I started my coaching practice. So at that point, I had no idea who I was going to work with. And I was actually working with people on their health, relationships, and business. And what I noticed was even the people that I worked on their health, it gave them the confidence to step into their passion and purpose and launch their business. People I worked with on the relationships, it gave them confidence and they went truly loving themselves. And then they started their own business. And then actually the people that had their own businesses, just, I noticed like it sparked something in me talking to those people. I call them possibility people. So they're full of possibilities. And I see entrepreneurs as the problem solvers. So the social innovators, we are the ones that are going to create the social change for the good. So that's where my heart lies now. Yeah.
Truly, you can tell your passion comes right through. And I bet you this is what gets you up in the morning.
Yeah, I love it. Like every day it's a great conversation. Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you would share with an aspiring entrepreneur?
Yeah, so definitely find your people. And so what I mean by that is find your community. So who are those people that you can rely on? Do not become an island. The first person that I would recommend you finding is your mentor. So who is doing something that you want to do, and just ask them for the recipe. From my experience, people are so generous and they're going to give you the ingredients and exactly the steps to take in order for you to reach your business success. And find your community of pure mentor supports. So the areas of your business that is not your strength, who in your region or in your area can help and guide you along that. Because as you start as an entrepreneur, you have to wear all the hats until you can truly hire out. So that would be my one piece of advice: find people.
Fantastic. It's like surrounding yourself with excellence.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Thank you so much for this, Jen, and good luck.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Jamie. How are you?
I'm great. So you are so involved with entrepreneurs. Where does your passion for entrepreneurship come from?
I can't really pinpoint an exact spot, but all my life I've been just very independent, and I started my career at Peat Marwick, now KPMG, right in the middle of a recession in their restructuring group, working with small businesses that needed to restructure themselves. And it was a bit of a wild time, and I was appointed the president of a small jewelry company that had 3 divisions in it. And as a 20-something-year-old, I ran this business with 50 employees while we worked it out over an 18-month period. And from that point on, I've always just really enjoyed working with small and medium-sized businesses and helping them grow and restructure and finance themselves. And all through my career, I kind of stayed away from the large corporations and always came back to small businesses. And it actually led me to make a small investment in Hardwood Ski and Bike and learn the hard way what it's really like to run a small business. And over the 10 years I was actively involved there, we had every entrepreneurial story that you could possibly imagine from that. It culminated with the burning down of our lodge.
Wow.
So it's really been a passion all my life to work in small business where you could really make a difference, right?
That's incredible. It sounds like you have a lot of experiences to draw on. So I'm wondering, what is the best piece of advice that you would share with an aspiring entrepreneur?
I would say that you have to think like an owner and an investor rather than think like an operator. And so you have to do both. You have to have one hat that says, I'm the president and I'm running this business. And then you have to take that hat off and put another hat on and say, okay, now like as an investor, what's the right investment strategy for this business? And so think like an owner and think like an operator. And they're 2 very different hats that you need to wear.
Yeah, that's a great piece of advice because it's really hard to do that when your nose is right down in the weeds.
It really is, and you have to say, how much would I pay somebody to replace me? What if I were looking for a new president and operator of this business? What characteristics would I look at? And then you have to almost interview yourself and say,
Right.
there's some characteristics I don't have. Where am I going to get that skill? Am I going to hire somebody to do that for me? Am I going to seek advice and guidance? Am I going to build a board of directors? How am I going to do that to get the skills that you need?
That's great. Thanks so much, Michael. This has been a really awesome little talk we had.
Nice to talk to you, Jamie. Thank you.